education, primary education would be delivered by the year 2015 to every Ethiopian citizen, and indicators results are showing that Ethiopia would attain these parameters, especially including the health sector, primary health. It's of course a very critical point that the government should take into consideration the problems that the private sector might encounter. Otherwise, it's not possible, to achieve this progress unless you come down to the private sector and identify the problems that they encounter and try to address those problems. Therefore, to address the problems that investors or entrepreneurs or exporters or importers might face, the government has established a private-public partnership. So this private and public come together to discuss common issues and problems that both parties might face and try to resolve the problems. So this is helping to, to expedite the process of economic advancement of the country. These forums are chaired by the top leaders, including my Prime Minister. My Prime Minister will also take some critical parts like, investment issues and investors, those investors who face some difficulties down in their projects. They have a forum where they present their issues to the head of state so that they are resolved in a very, expedite manner. Also, the government enters into a joint venture in certain aspects that are very critical, and the private sector might not able to come individually, by its own. Then the government is coming together in the form of funding and having a venture together with the private sector. As of now, the GDP per capita is 401 rupees on USD, in current prices, but in per capita in purchasing power parity, this amount goes up to 900 USD per person. And if you look the growth of the GDP growth of the last 6 years, it is more than 10%, and it's double digit. So according to the World Bank report and even the IMF and other documents, Ethiopia is the second fastest growing economy next to Congo. The difference, we are based on our people and our effort. Congo is based on its natural resources. So if you are put on the same footing, I think we would have achieved even a greater performance, because you don't have such a natural resources that Congo has. On the prediction, as Mr. Mehta and I myself in my yesterday's presentation mentioned, Ethiopia is the third fastest growing economy next to China and India. It is forecasted by the economists, and it's forecasted by IMF and all World Bank document reports indicate this forecast. And Ethiopia is it is in the 5 largest economies in Africa. When it comes to the economic structure, agriculture is still dominating, and it contributes about 43% of the GDP. Manufacturing is on the growth. It contributes 13%, and services 44%. So we are expecting this structure would be changed by the end of this 5-year plan towards the manufacturing sector. So the government is putting a lot of effort and initiatives to change this structure into in favor of the manufacturing sector, and expected to take the lead from the agriculture sector. And when it comes to infrastructure, Ethiopian Airlines is our main air transport. This is a national flagship. It has flights to different parts of the world. It has flights to and from Mumbai and Delhi daily. We have still negotiations are going on to increase this flight, to extend the flights to Chennai and Bangalore, and I think by this year we will succeed this. And the flight is very convenient. You leave Mumbai and Delhi in the morning, you will reach in Addis in the morning again. You can do, because there is a time gap, 2.5 hours. You leave from here say around 5 o'clock, so you reach there by 8 o'clock in the morning. You will do your job during the daytime. You can come back in the night, same day in the night, in the evening. So, and you will reach the next morning in your city. So you can, if you are strong enough, you can pursue your activities during the day. So timing are similar, almost similar to Delhi, so it's very convenient for travelers. Regarding ports, we use mainly Djibouti port and Berbera port. The main port is Djibouti, and to some extent we are using also Berbera. We have dry ports like Mojo and Samara to expedite transit of goods to and from the port. And railway construction is one of the major infrastructure development in the coming 5 years. As of now, we have a railway track and a railway services from Djibouti to Addis, which is an old one. Now the rehabilitation project is going on to change it to the conventional railway system. And apart from that, more than 2,500 railway tracks, kilometers of railway track would be constructed in the coming 5 years. And this is the area that this railway track would cross. So in the first phase, it is trying to address all the main economic corridors. And in the next phase, the total track is going to be 5,090 kilometers. This is the first phase only, in the first phase. And the next phase, the same amount of railway track is going to be constructed in the southern and eastern part of the country. When it comes to power, currently the country is producing about 1,000 megawatt electric power, and we have a huge plan again to construct dams, hydroelectric dams, which generate more than 10,000 megawatts. And even one project is going to be constructed in the river Nile is going to produce 5,000 megawatts. So and one which is I think the construction is already started, is going to produce about 3,000 megawatts, one project. So in the coming year, the hydroelectric power generation would be too much. So the next question would be how to use this power. So Ethiopia is trying to export to neighboring countries, and negotiations are going on with Sudan and with Kenya. And so yeah, all these negotiations are going on with Djibouti, Kenya and Sudan to export power. In the next phase, we are going to export even to Egypt and to neighboring other countries. The, yeah, the cost of power is very cheap in Ethiopia. Yeah, I'm going to that at the yeah, it's very cheap because we are mainly using hydroelectric power. So that's why the cost is very cheap. So one of the comparative advantage that Ethiopia has is the cost of power is very cheap compared to any country, any African country, even India. So it is only 2 rupees per unit. So you can see from this how much would cost investors energy in Ethiopia. In agriculture, the total land of Ethiopia is 111 million hectare. This is the total area, and out of which is 74 million is suitable for agriculture, and only 18 million hectare is currently cultivated. You can see the gap. Out of 74 which can be cultivated, only 18 is cultivated now. So we have a huge potential for agriculture development. Irrigation potential is 4 million hectare, and from this only 3% is utilized. Mining is one of the areas that Ethiopia has resource basis. Gold, possible reserve of up to 500 tons. Currently we are producing about 4 tons per annum. So this is the potential, the total potential that the country has. And we have other resources like tantalum, platinum, nickel, potash, soda ash, marble, granite, limestone, clay, and so on. There is also opportunity on oil and natural gas exploration in 4 major sedimentary regions. In manufacturing sector, food and beverage, textile and garment, leather and leather products, construction materials, metal, chemical goods, and tobacco, motor vehicles, wood products, all this can be, seen by investors who are interested. In agro-processing, it's a sort of, processing of fruits, processing and preserving of vegetables, processing of edible oils, oil seeds. All this can be seen in agro-processing. Yeah. So other part is food and beverage, like production of macaroni and pasta can be seen because Ethiopia is producing one of the best wheat, so-called durum. So this is also an opportunity to look into. So textile is the main strength of Ethiopia because we have, as you have seen, we have a very vast land suitable for cotton production also. And the quality of cotton is very good. The quality of cotton is very good. So there is a resource base, and we have a forward linkage, which is market. The population is 80 million. We are a member of COMESA. We have AGOA, African Growth Opportunity Act of the United States, which allows us, to import, to export to the United States market, duty-free and quota-free of these products. So we have the backward and the forward linkage to the textile, and the other sector is leather. Leather, we have also the same resource base. We have, in terms of the number of cattle, Ethiopia is number one in Africa and number 10 in the world. So that means we have the skin, which can be processed. So we have the resource base for that. Cement also, we have natural, base for the expansion of cement production. Sugar, we have the land suitable for growing of sugar cane and for sugar production. So all these are possible. Ethiopia is also good as a production hub of machineries and equipment for even Africa, not only for the country, even for Africa. So it can be used as a hub.